Turkey goes to the polls on Sunday to elect its next government, but for Turkish citizens living abroad, it's the first time they can vote in parliamentary elections. They were through a diplomatic mission as opposed to going to a border crossing. The previous vote abroad was for the presidential election last year. There are more than 56 million Turkish citizens eligible to vote worldwide. More than 53 million live in the country, but nearly 3 million of them live abroad. They were able to cast their votes through 112 diplomatic missions in 54 countries, with the vote here in London taking place last weekend. So how was this change received by the Turkish community in London? With me is the Turkish expat Michael Daventry, editor of the half-English, half-Turkish newspaper London Gazette. Thanks for joining us. So the deadline was May the 31st, so the votes have been cast. Was this sort of greeted enthusiastically over here?
Absolutely. It was the second time they've done it, because they actually were able to do it a year ago when there was a presidential election, which was very popularly won by Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who is now the president. Turnout then was only at about 5%. This time we're up to about 35%, which, I mean, our paper is certainly considering that to be a great success.
And you've got quite a significant vote this time, because it could end 13 years of AK majority rule, couldn't it? I mean, is there a sense that political leaders have been recognising the importance of this foreign vote in Germany, not only in Britain as well? And what sort of leaders, say, for example, of the HDP, this new coalition, what have they been canvassing over here?
Well, as the editor of a North London Turkish newspaper, I can certainly say that there have been plenty of canvassing going on from 3 of the 4 main Turkish parties here. The nationalists were the ones who didn't, but the HDP, the AK Party, the CHP, all of the main parties in Turkey have been here, ferrying voters with buses. I mean, I was telling you earlier that Kensington was under a cloud of cigarette smoke because Turks and Kurds like their cigarettes so much. So it was there was a certainly very strong effort to rally out the vote.
And any party needs a 10% threshold, doesn't it? So could this foreign vote be the tipping point?
It could be, because I mean there are 2.8 million registered Turkish expats who can vote abroad. 2.8 would make it Turkey's 4th largest city. It's a massive potential, and if a third of that turn out, that's 1 million votes. And you need about 4 to 4.5 million votes to cross that 10% threshold. And even if a third of 1 million comes from abroad, that could get the HDP over the line.
OK, the AK Party, the AK Party has been in power for 13 years. If they were to get a majority now, would this change significantly the whole sort of legislative system within the country?
It's all a question of electoral mathematics. I mean, it all depends on whether the HDP do cross that 10% line, because if they do, it's very difficult for the AK Party to get the majority. They can still do it, but it's quite tough.
But the AK Party, though, is committed to a rewriting of the Constitution, isn't it?
Oh, they're all committed to a rewriting of the Constitution. What the AK Party want to do is they want to introduce an executive presidency, like France or like America. The opposition parties don't want that. So the implications...
So that would see a continuation, would it, of Recep Tayyip Erdogan?
Well, presumably, yes, because seeing he's the current occupant of the presidency.
All right, OK, Michael Daventry, very interesting. Those elections, of course, tomorrow.